In our news headlines today, we will be looking at the passing of a woman in Manchester and the police having arrested 2 men in connection with her passing. Then we will look at the DPP going all out against Vybz Kartel's lawyer, Isaac Buchanan. And we will also assess his readiness to defend himself against whatever statements have been made. To the police, 2 men have been arrested in connection with the fatal mistreatment of a Manchester woman. According to the police communications unit, their report is that 2 men have been arrested in relation to the passing of a Manchester businesswoman. She has been identified as 63-year-old Chin Yu, and she was found on Friday night with multiple holes in her body in her car in the upscale community of Ingleside in Mandeville. According to the police, 2 men were picked up on Friday by detectives who have been following leads. The police's corporate communications unit has mentioned that the men will now be interviewed in the presence of their attorney as detectives prepare to lay charges against them. Friday night, the report coming out was that a woman in Manchester was found with multiple holes in her driveway. The police in Manchester were probing the passing of the former supermarket owner, 63-year-old Chin Yu, who was found with multiple holes in her driveway in the quiet community of Ingleside Close. According to Commanding Officer Francis in Manchester, he says that her body was found in a car with multiple holes last night. According to the police, they were gathering all of the information that they could to find those who had taken her life. We're appealing to anyone who is able to assist us to come forward, he said, noting that there is mixed information as to when she was last seen alive and that the investigation is in the early phases. The incident triggered shock and fear among the residents in Ingleside. According to the Custos of Manchester Green, Chin Yu contributed significantly to the growth of the business community in Mandeville for many decades. It is sad, and for her to have passed like this, it is just sad. It is unfortunate that crime is everywhere. There are no boundaries for crime at the moment. These vicious individuals are very brazen, and they go out for what they want without any regard or fear, and that is sad. While calling for quick action from the police, Green is also saying that business community members should remain on the alert, as he says that they are an easy target, specifically in the Christmas season. We can handle cash, and sometimes we can handle significant amounts of cash, and we take it for granted that we can move it by ourselves. At least one person will allow you to have cash on you so that some security measures are in place. Call the police if you don't have any private security. According to the president of the Chamber of Commerce, this passing has impacted business persons across the parish, and the association is renewing its call for new security measures to be put in place. To wake up to the news of the passing of Miss Chin Yu is very alarming. The business community has been really touched. We have seen over the past couple of weeks where persons' lives have been taken within the business community, and is a cause for concern. We urge citizens everywhere to cooperate with the police so what you know can be in the lookout for your neighbors. The Director of Public Prosecution has issued a strict warning to the lawyer of Vybz Kartel over claims that he is making in regards to the cell phone that they would like to acquire and have access to. The prospect of a disciplinary hearing is now confronting Vybz Kartel's lawyer, Isaac Buchanan, as Jamaica's top prosecutor, Paula Llewellyn, has issued a rebuke for him in relation to reckless and irresponsible allegations that he's been denied access to evidence. In a 6-page letter to the attorney, the Director of Public Prosecutions has expressed shock over media statements that have been attributed to Buchanan that her office was being very dodgy and shady and very deliberate in their action to continue to violate the constitutional rights of Mr. Adidja Palmer. These comments, which were published online on a news site on November 23rd, highlighted Buchanan's concerns over access to a cell phone that was critical in the 2014 passing conviction of the dancehall artist, which was upheld earlier this year by the Court of Appeal. However, Kartel and his co-convicts Sean Storm, Jones and Andre St. John are appealing to the country's highest court, the UK-based Privy Council. Among the arguments that are being pushed is the claim that the phone which contained these strict evidence and voice notes was tampered with. Buchanan reportedly said that lawyers were working with England to inspect cell phone. Despite attempts of himself and the Queen's Counsel, they were unable to get access to the cell phone, which they believe has evidence of tampering, and that the state prosecutors have been authors of delays. The DPP has dismissed these scurrilous accusations and has produced evidence suggesting that Buchanan should have been aware that her office did not oppose access, does not have possession of the phone, and that the responsibility was on him to get permission from the Supreme Court. The words dodgy and shady are usually used to describe the behavior of persons of dishonest character or dysfunctional moral compass, which is commonly found in thieves, fraudsters, and conmen. It goes without saying that this sort of behavior would be highly unbecoming of any attorney at law. Of course, if such a person were convicted, that person could never qualify to be employed as a prosecuting attorney in the public service. Buchanan has been twice accused in serious substance-related cases, in 1996 in Jamaica and in 1999 in the U.S., where he had to serve time for 10 years. The Jamaican record was expunged in 2014. Calls to Mr. Buchanan went unanswered. Therefore, he has no comment on this matter at this time, but we will provide you with an update as soon as he does. Currently, those whom he is representing are serving life imprisonment for the 2011 passing of Williams. The DPP did not let up in her castigation, telling the attorney that the only interference was that from his comments she could draw about his office, that her office and 57 prosecutors who worked there was that they acted dishonestly, illegally, criminally, and unprofessionally. The claim that the DPP was violating Adidja's rights was dismissed as even more outrageous. For pandemic reasons, it was declined to travel to Jamaica, read a section of a small statement that was sent to the DPP's office by the English Queen's Counsel, working with Kartel's legal team, who later suggested that the phone be couriered to England. The DPP's office said it was not comfortable with that proposal, hoping instead for some window of opportunity that will open that will allow the expert to come to Jamaica. The release of the emails on which Buchanan was copied is to demonstrate that he should have been aware that the phone was not blocking access to the evidence. Access to the evidence can only be granted by the court in whose custody the evidence goes, once it was tendered during the trial. The statement added, noting that it was up to Buchanan to make a formal application to the Registrar of the Supreme Court for the exhibits. We deem mischaracterization of the DPP's office by Buchanan of us as being dodgy, shading, and breaching of Mr. Palmer's constitutional rights as being extremely reckless, dangerous, and a possible violation of the canons of the legal profession rules. This is what the DPP had to say in relation to the matter. According to Vybz Kartel's lawyer, Isat Buchanan, he is ready to defend himself against a matter that has arisen between him and the Director of Public Prosecutions, Ms. Paula Llewellyn. He is currently one of the attorneys representing dancehall artist Vybz Kartel, and the issue between him and the DPP has gotten worse. The DPP recently threatened to report Buchanan to the General Legal Counsel after he accused their office of being shady over the request to have a phone that is being used as evidence in the case against Vybz Kartel. He would like to re-examine a phone that was used as evidence in the trial in preparation for an appeal before the UK's Privy Council. The phone is now with the registrar of the courts. According to Buchanan, he has admitted that he made the controversial statement and said it was in relation to the delay that the DPP's office was taking, and that they had taken months to respond to correspondence that was written by him. My response was certainly not to cast any aspirations or aspersions on the office of the DPP. I'm in no way there. He caught a tantrum as a result of the issues that have been discussed and the matters that have been stated by the DPP. He said that he was prepared to defend himself at the General Legal Council, which organizes legal education and upholds standards of professional conduct, if the DPP Llewellyn chooses to take it that far. Buchanan has said that the deadline for the application to be made to the Privy Council for the evidence to be re-examined and for the results to be admitted to the case has passed. That deadline was November 20th. He further went on to state that the issue of delay is very serious and that an application would have to be made for an extension, adding that the DPP's position on the request to re-examine the phone was not relayed to his team until after the deadline on November 24th. Llewellyn has mentioned that her office has to be diligent in determining the course of action to the request for the evidence, as it was quite unusual. When you have something unusual, you have to make sure that you are on the best possible grounds before you make a commitment. Because if we make a commitment, a Queen's Counsel, or to a Queen's Counsel, it means that when the matter goes to the registrar of the court, we have to stand by that commitment. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what is your feedback on the matters that have been discussed. Of course, Mr. Buchanan is ready and able to defend himself against whatever the DPP brings, and the DPP seems ready as well to take him to the General Legal Counsel and to defend herself in whatever matters he accuses her of. And of course, it is very sad that this lady in Manchester passed away so suddenly at the hands of these vicious people. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Remember to be safe and take the best care of yourself during this Christmas season. It is risky to go out there, but protect yourself and remain vigilant. Goodbye.